The Federal Reserve met a few days ago, causing a buzz in the market. Stocks surged and mortgage rates dipped. But loads of homebuyers are still sitting on the sideline, eagerly waiting for a more substantial drop. So in today's video, I'll share what the Fed said and explain what you can expect to happen this year. I will also answer the question, should I buy a house now or should I wait? Then I'll share 3 incredible strategies for getting a super low mortgage rate right now, which will save you tens of thousands of dollars. This is one video you're going to want to watch all the way to the end. At the Federal Reserve's recent meeting, they announced rates hold steady and 3 rate cuts seen in 2024 despite inflation. It wasn't necessarily good news, but more importantly, it wasn't bad news. No one was expecting the Fed to declare immediate rate cuts, but with stubborn inflation, it could have been worse. It's important to note that the Federal Reserve does not control mortgage rates, but recent history has shown just how much the Fed can influence them. So the question everyone is asking, when will rates drop? Most likely rates will remain volatile for the next few months, and then we should start to see a downward trend this summer. USA Today continued by answering the question, what is the prediction for the economy in 2024? The Fed expects the economy to grow 1.2% in 2024, well above its prior estimate. It predicts 2% growth in 2025, up from its prior 1.8% projection. There's an enormous problem though. The US government is spending money at an unsustainable rate. I'm not trying to get political, but it needs to stop. Just how bad is it? Well, this next chart should scare you. The total US debt has skyrocketed since 2020. The red arrow points to an insane increase of $1.2 trillion on March 24th. We are now above $34 trillion in debt. It's cray-cray. How does the US government spending affect you? In short, they are severely devaluing the US dollar. How bad is it? The inflation rate since January 2020 is nearly 24%. And honestly, it's probably a lot higher than that. CNBC reported the US national debt is rising by nearly $1 trillion per day. And data shows it's only accelerating. These numbers are staggering. So what can you do? You can buy Bitcoin. Kidding, not kidding. I mean, Bitcoin's only up 155% over the last 12 months, but this isn't a video about cryptocurrency. Real estate has proven to be one of the best hedges against inflation. Truth is, homeowners get wealthier while those who pay rent continue to fall further behind. Data from the Federal Reserve shows homeowners are nearly 40 times wealthier than renters. The harsh reality for renters is that owning a house makes it easier to build wealth. Why? Because with each payment, you pay off your house a little. In 30 years, often less, the house should be paid off. Not only that, but homeowners also enjoy the stability of a consistent payment for the cost of living. Rent offers no such security. It can increase every year, and as a renter, you'll have that nagging monthly payment until you die. And home values have always increased over time. This can equate to hundreds of thousands and often more than $1 million in wealth. This allows a lot of people to retire once their house is paid off. I'd also like to point out that the sooner you buy the house, the sooner that 30-year clock starts counting down. Okay, that explains why you might want to buy a house sooner than later. But should you wait for mortgage rates to drop? Now, I know that many of you don't want to buy a house with these higher rates, and that's totally understandable. And many of you don't qualify with rates in the 7s, so you might be forced to wait. Or are you? You might be surprised to discover that there are multiple ways to get a lower rate right now. And I'm shocked that no one's talking about one of these strategies. I'll talk more about this in just a bit. But first, why might it be a mistake to wait for rates to drop? Because we really have no idea when it's going to happen. Many of the top forecasters thought rates would already have started to come down. This market has just been too unpredictable. But here's the problem with waiting, and it's important you understand this. Despite these higher mortgage rates, nationwide, home prices are up. Bankrate reported the median home sale price as of December 2023 was $382,600, up 4.4% from 1 year ago. Now, just real quick, if you find this helpful, please give me a thumbs up. For the best real estate tips and trends, please subscribe and ring the bell. This allows me to keep making videos to help awesome people like you. Thanks. Okay, as mentioned, rates are expected to come down. Bankrate's Greg McBride explained, mortgage rates should trend lower throughout the year as inflation pressures ease and the Fed begins to cut short-term rates. So what can we expect to happen in 2024? McBride continued, rates might not dip below 6% until later this year. A sharp economic slowdown could bring mortgage rates lower, but be careful what you wish for. When mortgage rates drop, buyers will flood the market. With so much competition, it will become far more difficult for you to buy a house. As Lawrence June put it, there are simply not enough homes for sale. We currently have a 3.2-month supply of homes for sale. This is far below the 5 or 6 month supply that's needed for a healthy market. When asked if home prices would drop in 2024, Yoon said, probably not. Bankrate's article also showed data from the National Association of Realtors, who predicts home prices to rise 1.4% in 2024 and then another 2.6% in 2025. When you combine the decreasing value of the US dollar with increasing house prices, homes are becoming more and more unaffordable. Simply put, the longer you wait, the more you will pay. You might be wondering, how can home prices continue to increase when they're becoming more unaffordable with each passing day? I touched on this earlier. But it's because we're suffering from a major housing shortage. It's the simple economics of supply and demand. Believe it or not, there are millions of Americans waiting for rates to drop so they can jump into the market. Whether you're talking about stocks, crypto, or real estate, wise investors understand the importance of buying ahead of the rush. Dave Ramsey, who's one of the most conservative market forecasters, recently said this.
I would buy now, regardless of interest rates. Here's what I don't know 12 to 24 months from now. I don't know what interest rates will be. I do know house prices will have gone up 7 to 8% a year during that time because there continues to be a shortage of housing. We can predict that the cost is going to go up, so we might as well get in now. We don't know if rates are going to go down, so waiting on them to come down, they might not. We know house prices are going to go up, so let's buy. If interest rates go down, you can always refinance. You're not stuck, but you are stuck with house prices. So buy now.
I'm sure many of you are wondering what the market has done so far in 2024. According to data from the National Association of Realtors, home sales and prices are up as the spring buying season starts. I'll talk more about this in a future video. Long story short, the US dollar is losing value. Home prices will continue to increase, and mortgage rates are still high. Housing will become progressively more unaffordable, at least until rates drop. The foregone conclusion, waiting to buy a house could be a costly mistake. Just to be clear, I am not telling you what to do. For many of you, buying a house now is the best option, but for others, the timing isn't right. I just feel obligated to share my knowledge of the market to help you make the best decision for yourself and for your loved ones. Now, I know that many of you are feeling anxious, especially because rates are still high. So because I love you, as promised, I'm going to share 3 incredible strategies for getting a super low mortgage interest rate today. For those who get out and buy a house before the market turns, you'll save tens of thousands of dollars. By the way, this market is already starting to turn. Okay, here are 3 ways to get a lower rate right now. Number 1, seller paid closing costs. In markets where homes are taking longer than normal to sell, you may be able to negotiate seller paid closing costs and use a portion of those funds to buy down your mortgage rate. Number 2, build a home. Most builders are offering unbelievable incentives, which often include a lower mortgage rate. This is especially true when it comes to the homes that are nearing completion or have already been completed. I recommend hiring a realtor with new home construction experience if you choose this option. If you'd like to learn more, watch Build a House or Buy Existing. And the option no one is talking about, seller finance, aka owner finance. A lot of sellers are willing to carry the loan for you, and they usually offer a lower rate than what banks will give you. You will also have low closing costs, and many sellers are flexible on the terms. One thing I think is super cool, many sellers are even willing to work with those who don't qualify to purchase a house traditionally. In most situations, owner finance is better than buying a home the traditional route, but seller finance transactions can be tricky. Do not buy a home this way without hiring an agent who specializes in these types of transactions. If you're in Utah, I'm part of a team that deals with seller finance on a daily basis. If you're looking to buy a house in Utah, please don't hesitate to reach out to me with your questions. I also recommend you watch How to Buy a House on Seller Finance. If you're a first-time home buyer, you'll want to watch How Do I Buy a Home for the First Time. Look for the links to my recommended videos below. If you're looking to buy, sell, build a home, or invest in Utah real estate, I get contacted all the time. Please feel free to call or text me with your questions. I'd love to meet you, and I'm honored to serve you. For everyone else, please feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you have a friend or a family member looking to buy a house, you can easily text this video to them. And please don't forget to hit the subscribe button below and ring the bell to be notified each time I post new videos. Also, you can find me on Instagram at Ty, the Real Estate Guy. If you found this information helpful, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to ring that little bell below. It'll make you feel good.